welcome to another episode of the Verde Valley Experience. I'm your host, Jennifer Cohen. Thank you so much for joining us today. Today's show is all about home, visiting someone else's home as a tourist, reenacting life as it was 100 years ago at home as a volunteer, or even opening up your home to a student from another country. All of these things will help you learn and grow and contribute, and all can be done right here in the Verde Valley. Donna Chesler, past president of Jerome Chamber of Commerce, along with chamber member Liz Gale, are in the studio today to give us all the info on the 51st annual Jerome Historic Home and Building Tour. This is awesome. This year is the longest running home tour in Arizona, boasts never before seen historic and significant homes on this guided tour through the mile-high town's back streets. So you're going to see a miner's shack turned into a dream home retreat, a completely renovated Sullivan Hotel, and the first time ever the Gulch section of town is going to be on the tour. The 51st annual Jerome Historic Home and Building Tour takes place on May 21st and 22nd. Here's your invitation to look back in time and see firsthand what's behind these historic front doors. One of my favorite things to do. Our next guest will be Sharon Peters, the manager of the Council for Educational Travel in the USA, Student Exchange Program and Event Coordinator, and Amore Cianciola. The CETUSA, it's a good one, is seeking host families to open their homes, their communities, and their hearts for international high school exchange students. Exchange students from all over the world are being placed in volunteer host families for a semester or academic year-long stays in our community. So you can join the CETUSA family and step out into the world and become a host family. You'll learn lots of things. It's like living in a geography lesson, is what they say. Sharon and Amore will give us all the details on their upcoming informational meetings. This one is happening on May 21st. At the Cottonwood Library. Jerome State Historic Park Douglas Mansion Park Manager Wes Yeager, along with Assistant Park Manager Margie Sanchez, will be here today to discuss AZ State Park's celebration of the 100th and 50th anniversary of Jerome State Historic Park in the Douglas Mansion. The Douglas Mansion has been an eye-catching landmark in Jerome since 1916. Wes and Margie will tell us all we need to know about how to join in for the fun, the food, the entertainment throughout the day. It's going to be celebrating our amazing local history. You can listen to guest speaker Tim Coons, visit with local rock and mineral traders, enjoy musical entertainment, all while being in one of the most beautiful and historic places in the Verde Valley. And that's all happening on May 14th, so you don't want to miss out. Then we'll go on location to Fort Verde State Historic Park, and we'll speak with Park Manager Sheila Stubler about all the volunteer opportunities available at the park. We'll meet with just a few of their incredibly dedicated volunteers dressed in an amazing array of period clothing. Sheila will share cool facts, interesting details, and most importantly, how you too can get involved with this really fun group of folks out there at Fort Verde State Historic Park. And then we'll finish out our show today with a live performance of Arizona-based singer-songwriter Pat Beary. We are very pleased to have such a talented and accomplished musician on our show. I think you're really going to like him, so stick around. And we'll go ahead and get started. Our first guest today are Donna Chesler, the past president of Jerome Chamber of Commerce. Of course, there was another word in front of that my spell check didn't like.
Oh, okay.
So it is past president is your title, correct?
It is,
okay,
yes.
very good.
Yeah.
And Liz Gale here, you are a chamber member. Thank you for joining us today. 51st annual, congratulations.
Yes, we haven't been at all of them, I'm happy to say.
If so, you look great.
I know, no kidding. Yeah.
Boy, this is exciting. You're opening up new territory this year.
Right, we're going down into the Gulch section, which is, most people probably have no idea what I'm talking about, but when they come, they'll find out. Mm-hmm. And we're going to see an amazing new home there. And the woman who built this 2-year project has created just this amazing retreat, and it's going to be something very special. But also on her property is a miner's shack and a really amazing little tin outhouse. So there's a lot of historic, and in fact, in this while they were doing the build, they found a retaining wall that's exposed, and you can see inside it how the things that they put into this retaining wall. There's like car parts and their cans and their, it's crazy, and that's all exposed, so you'll be able to see it. It's going to be great.
That is really neat. I mean, we're talking, over 100 years ago, what they just used whatever they had. No, there's a hole here, stick a can in it.
They did.
Anything, for sure. Yeah. How interesting. Jerome is such a neat place. Do you live in Jerome, Liz?
I did. I lived there for a while. Now I live down in Clarkdale.
Oh, very good. Down the hill.
Yeah,
Excellent.
But one of my buildings also is made of concrete with a lot of interesting things in it that, we did we had to drill through it and had a core sample of it. It was amazing what they threw in the concrete.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, well, you use whatever you can find,
Right.
right? And the history in Jerome alone, I mean, is astronomical, but the architecture is also interesting and
Yes.
different. And tell us a couple of other places we're going to be visiting.
We're going to have a building that was called, and we have a photo of it in its former self. It was called the Electric Theater, and it was a movie theater that supposedly Clark built, Clark from Clarkdale, and it was actually originally across the street, and then it slid down the hill, and so it was reopened in what is now the Turquoise Spider building, and it was the Electric Theater.
Oh.
So that was pretty cool. And these people have a store on the main level, and they live upstairs. So we're going up to their home, and they have this amazing deck up there, and you kind of feel like you're sitting in the clouds. It's very cool.
I bet.
So we're going to be going up there.
I bet. What an amazing thing to be let into somebody else's home. I think that's so wonderful. So,
Well, it's very nice of these people to have 1,500 people come through their home in 2 days.
I know.
It's the kindest, generous thing that they can do. you know.
Absolutely.
Very nice.
Absolutely. And the tickets for the event are really nothing much at all. It's $20 for an adult and $10 for children.
Right.
I mean, that's very reasonable entertainment.
It's a full day's, if you have a meal and you go on the tour, that's the whole day pretty
Yeah.
much.
Well, and on this tour, people are put in a van, or go on a van and go from house to house. It's not something that they're just you walk to or whatnot. So there's a little kind of extra service given.
Right, absolutely. You begin at Spook Hall. So-
And in Spook Hall, we're going to have entertainment throughout the day.
All right.
And it's going to include the famous Jerome Ukulele Orchestra.
All
They're going to be
right.
performing a couple times during the
gonna be
day,
brilliant.
That's
which
wonderful.
people love that. But
Yes.
people will be waiting inside, so if it's hot, don't worry about it because you're going to be sitting inside. And then there'll be entertainment, and we're going to also have some displays, and it'll be fairly interesting, some refreshments.
wonderful.
And then you'll wait your turn, you'll go downstairs, and there are going to be steps. So we say this is not handicapped accessible. You go down the steps, you're going to get in a van. We have 8 15-passenger vans this year.
Wow.
So every year we've gotten more and more vans.
Nice.
And hopefully everything's going to be really fabulous.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really great. So then you get in a van, you take you to your first stop.
Yes.
You get to explore that. You'll get back in the van. It'll take you to your next stop.
You won't get in the same van.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All
You'll get
right.
in whatever van is there. So the van doesn't wait for you. The van moves on. So everything is
Excellent.
always moving along.
And it's
Excellent.
sort of like self-timed. You can stay as long or as little at a house that you like, and
very
then
good.
hop into the next van.
Did a great job with all the logistics. I mean, that's something to work with there.
It's very complex.
Yeah, I bet it is.
It
It's
is,
a good thing
yeah.
it's once a year, huh? It takes a whole year to
Yeah,
plan.
it does.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
And it all benefits the Jerome Chamber of Commerce, right?
It does, yes.
It's an amazing group of people you've got there, for sure, for sure. Now, what is the most exciting thing for you this year, Donna? What are you excited about with the tour?
I am really most excited about this home in the Gulch. The contemporary home that was built is sort of like a mountain chalet, and it's very sophisticated. It's really not like something you would imagine in Jerome. But then to add to it, to have this really incredible and very funky and beautifully done miner shack, is just such a great juxtaposition of something new and something old.
Nice.
So people are gonna love it.
Oh, that's very cool. How
Got
about
it.
you, Liz? What's your favorite thing this year?
Well, my favorite thing, I think, is going to be the Electric Theater. Just because what a fun experience, and to be in a place that was built by Clark himself.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's true. Now, the building slid down the hill, and did it rest where it is now?
No,
had
that
to
building's
move it.
gone. This is another building across the street. There was
Okay.
an electric
Very
theater.
good.
This is how I understand the story. There was an electric theater across the street. It slid down the hill, and then this building became the new electric theater.
Fabulous. Thank you
Yeah,
for clarifying that.
I think it wasn't there, so I'm not sure.
It's a great story,
Yeah.
so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Now, this is happening May 21st and 22nd from 10 to 3. You'll want to go ahead and
Nine.
get your 10,
Nine.
10 to 9?
No, 9 to
9
3.
to 3. Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
Let's get internet. So, so it's from 9 to 3. It's 20 for adults, 10 for kids. It is not handicap accessible, mainly because there are stairs, there's walking, there's going to be a little bit of exercise involved. So something you want to keep in mind while you're there. Now, if they want to pick up tickets, how do they do that?
Well, you can pick up yours here.
Oh,
I'm giving
well,
you some
thank you.
tickets. Yeah.
Ooh, what pretty tickets
but
this year.
we can.
Thank you.
You can buy them online. Just go to jeromechamber.com, click on the website, and you can buy them online. Or you'll come to Spook Hall and you can buy them there. So
there we
either way is fine.
Well, there we go.
Yeah.
Now, will you sell out? Do you think? Do you have a cap?
No.
Okay, good.
We don't.
Okay, so there'll be tickets available. They can come the day of.
Yes.
Okay, that's good to know because
Yes.
sometimes people, I didn't get tickets and they'll be sold out. No, go anyway.
Yeah. That's
There will
right.
be tickets available at Spook Hall from 9 to 3, May 21st and 22nd, the 51st annual. That's great. It gets bigger and better every year. And it's one of my favorite events that happens throughout the year. So that's very, very cool. Thank you guys so much for being here. And thank you for what you're doing. I know that, like I said, the logistics and all that of keeping this going and making it bigger and better falls on your shoulders. And I think you're doing a wonderful job.
Thank
so
you.
Thank
Thanks
you,
for
Donna.
having
Thank
us.
you, Liz. You're welcome. Check out jeromechamber.com. Get your tickets or show up at Spook Hall May 21st or 22nd. And we'll see you there. And we'll be right back. So don't go away.
Your seat cushion can be used to grant wishes.
Who said that? Hello?
Really can, you know.
You talking to me?
Sure am. Because the airline miles or dollars you donate to Make-A-Wish can help send thousands of kids on their wish trips. So donate to Make-A-Wish today.
You really should, you know. You really should.
And give wishes wings. Because wishes work wonders.
Todd's a great guy. I mean, look at him. What a sweetheart. Attaboy. Wait, Todd, what are you doing? How totally selfish and un-Todd-like of you. Come on, Todd. Come on, man.
And welcome back to the Verde Valley Experience. We are now here with Sharon Peters, who is the Council for Educational Travel USA Manager, their student exchange program. And we have Amore Cianciola, event coordinator. That's a tough one. Hasayampa. Well, it doesn't look like Hasayampa when you look at it. Hasayampa in, host mom, and CET USA coordinator. You've got quite the title. Yours is so much easier. Sharon, thank you for that. I see a lot of titles on this show. Thank you guys for being here today.
Thank you.
What an interesting organization you have. How much fun this must be.
It is. It is.
Tell us a little bit about the Council for Educational Travel USA.
Well, they're a nonprofit student exchange program that's designated by the State Department to be able to bring students on a J-1 visa to study in the United States, tuition free for the school year, for a semester. And so we're accountable to the State Department for all their regulations about student exchange. And it's a great opportunity for a family to have another member of the family to join them for a time, and then to continue to stay in touch for years and be friends, family, forever.
I'm a coordinator this year, but I have had students stay with me, and it's just it was the best experience, honestly. Great. I mean, I'm still in contact with my sons. My son's from another mother.
Yep.
And it was really a fabulous experience. My son's graduating high school this year, and one of the boys is coming back to experience that and also visit his friends. And I squeed when I heard that he was coming, so yeah.
Cute.
Yeah.
You know, my aunt actually did about 5 different exchange students, even into her empty nest years, which was wonderful. So you don't have to be this big family with all these kids. You can be various different stages of life.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Singles that don't have any kids, couples that don't have any kids, people with young children, people with teenagers. You know, it fits a lot of different people, different age groups of people too.
Right.
I mean, ages. Your ages have to add up to 50 in order to host if you're a couple.
Okay.
30 is a good age to be a stable adult to host a teenager because you're old enough to be their parent.
Right, yeah.
And then up to like 75 or even 80 years old, you can still host if you're active in the community. And so it was, I also started out hosting and then became a coordinator and then became eventually the manager in Oklahoma. Then I moved my job out here to be near my children, and
Right.
my husband and I both are out here.
That's
so.
very rewarding. What areas do we see kids from around here?
Oh, well, we're representing about 25 countries now.
Wow.
It was more, I would say, but just a very few from those countries. So we've narrowed it down to just a couple. One big overseas partner that we have is the Scandinavian countries, but they've also brought us kids from Australia, and now they're working with Italy and France. So we'll have some more kids from those areas, and also Germany, and then Spain, and then the Asian countries, and South America. In Mexico even.
Wow.
We don't get any from Canada. I did in the past, but I had one from Quebec and with a family in Oklahoma, but they speak French in Quebec. So
Yes.
it's not like it's it is a second language for them
Right,
a lot
yes.
of times.
Yeah,
English must
definitely.
be their second language if they're
Right.
going to come.
If they're going to come, so they have a good working knowledge of English if they come.
Absolutely.
But then you'll end up with a good working knowledge of Quebecois.
Well, I thought it was fun. I took
Portuguese
French
or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Portuguese is a little bit harder.
Yeah, I know. Portuguese is really hard, but that's just it's amazing how when you bring that culture into your house, it's a learning experience for you too, and of course enriching the life of a young person, and obviously enriching your life. I mean, my aunt's, one of her exchange students, was the same age as her son. They graduated at the same time. They obviously went to different colleges. They got married. They went to each other's weddings. They flew all the way over to Germany to go to his wedding. I mean, that boy is family.
Exactly.
Our daughter from Japan was the first one, and we are still friends on Facebook. She came to our son's wedding in California. She came back to visit us a couple of times in Oklahoma, and then she came out to the Grand Canyon after we moved here, and she came to stay with us, her and her father and her little girl.
Oh, nice.
So I hope to visit her within the next 2 years.
Nice.
When I first hosted, I was thinking mostly about, I want to give this child, from Denmark an opportunity to experience an American lifestyle. I didn't realize the pebble in a pond kind of effect he would have, not only on my household, because now my children are thinking globally, but also on the students that he went to school with. I get stopped in the grocery store frequently. Is so-and-so coming back and visiting us? And, Thailand is great, and it's on my bucket list now because they had a Thai student that happened to be in their class, or Australia. It's just an amazing.
Wow, that's right. That's
true
great.
amazing experience.
That's true. Now, in order to get a full understanding of the experience, you guys have created these wonderful informational meetings. And the next one is coming up on May 21st from 10:30 until noon at the Cottonwood Public Library. Now, what happens at these informational meetings?
Well, I'll be presenting information about the program in general. I'll have information about specific students that are still needing host families at that time, depending on the school slots that we have, because they do close, they become full. So we're working with Cottonwood, Mingus Union, and with a school that's going to be accredited soon. That's a charter school in Cottonwood. We're hoping to have some families there. And then, of course, we have Prescott. We have schools there, and Camp Verde. We're working with them this year already. So we just want to make the opportunity available, and then people give us references, and sometimes those references end up hosting. I had that happen one year where 2 or 3 of their references ended up hosting as well. So it's a way to help people understand how student exchange can benefit their family, their school, and the community, and then eventually, hopefully, the world. Because our goal is we're founded on friendship, and the State Department believes that if somebody goes home with a positive experience with Americans, that they will have a better view of America. In general, everyone that they come in contact in their homeland will have a better view of America, and that's the goal of the J1 visa program, is to help people like us better and have a better view of us in the world.
Yeah.
You watch
absolutely.
CNN and they don't see us the way
Yeah,
we see
no,
us ourselves.
That is true. We need these lovely children to bring back great news of how fabulous American families are. And the food is awesome.
Good cooks we have. That is true.
When Sharon first contacted me about the potential, host student that I was going to have, I was like, how am I going to fit? I'm the director of catering, at a really busy property. I have 3 children of my own. How am I going to make this fit? And it was so amazing how seamless it was. Technically, all I was supposed to provide is the 3 meals, a roof over their head and a bed of their own. But they become such an integral part of your family, that it just was an amazing experience. It forced me to take my kids to Tuesday Goot.
There you go.
It had been forever. We went to the Grand Canyon, and we got to re-experience my state where I chose to raise my children in through the eyes of another child. It was amazing.
Yeah, that is amazing. And there's something to be said for that too. I'm a mom, and there are things that I've done with my daughter numerous times. And I go, we got to go there again. But you know what? When I take somebody else's kid that's never been there before, it's all new. It's all fresh. It's all exciting to see it through their eyes. It could be something I've done 100 times before, and I take, little Mary
Exactly.
with me, and she's never been there, and suddenly it's a new world.
Exactly.
It's amazing. And to bring that life back into your life, you may be a retired person, you may be someone without kids, you may be someone with grown kids, you may be someone with younger kids. It's a wonderful infusion of energy and life back
Absolutely.
into
I
your
would
life.
say that oldest host mom that we have this year has said she learned how to communicate better with someone of a different generation.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's only one time that you end up hosting. You don't do it several times. But Amore has done it several times, her and her family, and I have too. And there are several families that are already committed for the second or third time
Nice.
this year in Arizona. And I also have Needles, California, and Laughlin, Nevada, because they're right there on the tri-state area.
That's true.
It's like one little microcosm there.
That's great. So if you want to go ahead and become a host family in Arizona or somewhere here along the Colorado River, you can contact your local CETUSA coordinator by emailing. You can email Sharon, or you can give her a call at 928-530-6547. You can contact them that way. Families with children, couples, empty nesters, anyone, you can get involved with this. Check it out. It's a really wonderful, amazing program. Sharon, thank you so much for being here.
Thank
Amore,
you.
thank you for your insights and your stories. Appreciate you very much. And we'll be right back, so don't go away.
Don't wait. Communicate. Make your emergency plan today.
This is the story of a boy who is very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help. And slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
welcome back to the Verde Valley Experience. Our next guests are Margie Sanchez, who is the Assistant Park Manager, and Wes Yeager, who is the Park Manager for Jerome State Historic Park and the Douglas Mansion, one of my favorite places. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Happy 150th anniversary.
Thank you very much.
That's an interesting title when you look at that and you go, well, it's 100 and it's 50. Can you explain that to us, Margie, how that works?
It's the 100th anniversary of the Douglas Mansion being built. It was built in 1916, so it turns 100 years old this year.
Excellent.
And then it's 50 years as being a state park. It opened in 1965.
Wow.
So we're a little bit over 50 years,
Right.
but still.
That's a long time as a
Yeah.
state park. That's amazing. It didn't spend too much time as a home, so to speak.
Exactly.
50 years for a home is, you know, of that caliber.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's been a state park more than it was a home. You're right.
How about that? And how did that work out? That was in the family and then it got donated to the state? Is that how that worked?
Yes, they tried to sell it back in the 60s for $10,000. Nobody
God.
bought it.
And nobody would buy it.
Yeah, can you imagine that? So his two sons donated it to state parks for, I believe, $10.
Wow.
So yeah, they actually donated it in 1962. So it took a little while to, get things going, and they opened up in 1965.
Wow. And it's gorgeous. It is one of my favorite museums. The views are spectacular. Come bring a picnic, sit outside. It's really, really lovely. So what are you guys doing for this anniversary celebration?
We're going to have a couple of vendors out there. We're going to have, if you've ever seen the movie that we show on the history of the town of Jerome, okay, the ghost is it's narrated by a ghost, right, which is Ken Mickles. So he and his wife Lynn are going to be playing music.
Oh.
So that'll be kind of neat to have them there. We have some rock and mineral vendors that are going to be there, a couple of food vendors, the Historical Society, the Jerome Fire Department. Couple other things I'm trying to think.
Clemenceau Museum will be there as
Yes,
Very good.
There you go.
Very good.
Hopefully Ron Chilston with a slideshow of his wonderful, wonderful pictures that he takes, photography. Just beautiful, beautiful things. So hopefully we'll have that going of the Verde Valley and the town and such.
I bet.
So quite a few different things.
It's excellent. And how are the exhibits these days, Wes? Have you guys gotten anything new and exciting?
We're working on some new exhibits. Right now we're working on trying to get some functional exhibits up there right now. We're just about done completing a portable 3-stamp mill, which would have been used for gold mining. It's a quartz mill for crushing rock, and it's going to be very impressive once we get that going. We're really hoping to have that unveiled by the 14th.
Yeah.
And then we've got some new exhibits that we're working on inside, which we probably won't have done by then, but we're going to have some different, we're going to have a better explanation of the open pit up in town. We're working on getting that exhibit done. And we're really going to, I'm trying to get more focused on operable equipment so people can actually see, what it, and hear a rock drill, see the crushers running, operate some equipment up there, and really kind of see what it was like to be a miner.
We'll like to do that on the day of, on the 14th.
Yeah, we're gonna
Hopefully we'll
have
pull
some
out
stuff
some of
going.
the one lunger engines.
Yeah, we're going to have some hit and miss
So that-
engines running.
Oh, fabulous.
So
It's gonna
they'll
be a good
running
time.
those.
That
Be
is
able to see
absolutely
some
true.
stuff working.
Excellent. Yeah, the hands-on aspect. I mean, I don't know what kind of learner anybody else is, but I gotta touch it, make it work, and take it apart, put it back together, and then I understand it. But if I sit there and read something, or you tell me about it, it's like, in one and out the other. But to operate that, and that really gets people's minds flowing and gets them creative, and especially the kids too. And it's a nice size museum. You've got a lot of square footage
It's
over there.
8,700 square feet.
Yeah. It's a good investment for the afternoon. Now, as far as the celebration goes, regular park admission is required. Is that correct?
Yes.
Which isn't much. What's it going for these days?
It's $7 for the adults, which is 14 and over, $4 for 7 to 13, and then 6 and under are free.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, it's absolutely worthwhile. And it's beautiful in there. I just love all the different displays you have and the cars and the different rocks. I mean, just the rocks themselves. My daughter's been a rock hound since she could scoot. So we go and stare at the rocks for hours and all the wonderful information. You go, oh, that's what that is. You can spend so much time in there, but it'll be way too much fun on May 14th for the 150th anniversary celebration. So it's just the neatest, I think, museum. I know I keep saying that, but it really, really is. What is one of the things that you really like about the museum, Margie?
Oh my gosh. I just love all the history, all the old pictures, the old photographs that you can look at and see how things were back then. It's just amazing how they did things, 100 years ago. It's
Right,
like,
a little
it's
different.
Yeah, it's a hard life, that for sure. It definitely was.
I know nowadays we think, oh gosh, if I lost my cell phone, how would I survive? Really?
Exactly, right?
100 years ago, they didn't even have phones. They were just like yelling, hey, you know.
Yeah.
How about you, Wes? What's inspiring for you at the museum
I
these days?
like the different stories that you'll learn about the different people, the social histories, the people that really made the town what it is. We love to play up the ghost angle, of course. If you get past that and into the real history of the town, the people that made it what it is, it's far more fascinating than just simple ghost stories. Very fascinating people. For me, it's actually the old timers and stuff that you get to meet on occasion that come back through, and that really makes the town a very fun and interesting place.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I bet as park rangers you must meet a lot of interesting people who just want to tell you stories, which is just way too much fun. How long have you been a ranger now, Wes?
Oh, I have been a ranger for, I believe, 22 years.
Wow!
Yeah,
You
long
started
time.
when you were 12.
Pretty much.
Yeah. I didn't know they took people that young, but okay. How about you, Margie?
18 years.
All right. See, I love the Park Service. It's got such great longevity in its employees. I can see that you guys really like your job, and I notice that with every park ranger that sits in those seats. They are smiling, they are rosy-cheeked and healthy, and they love their job.
It is a fun job.
It is a fun job to be surrounded by all that every day.
Yeah.
Now, as far as the museum, what are the hours of the museum?
The park itself is 8 to 5, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., but the museum is 8:30 to 4:45.
Okay. There you go. Gives you time to get from the museum out of the park. That's great. And how many days a week is it?
7. We're open 7 days a week, 364 days a year.
Wow.
Only
Christmas.
closed on Christmas.
Christmas. Very good. That is an amazing schedule. You guys keep very busy.
Yes.
Yeah. As far as your main function when you're there at the park, Margie, what do you do all day?
Oh my gosh,
no.
everything. It's
everything.
yeah, it's nothing set every day. It's not a set schedule.
Yeah.
There's always something coming up.
Oh, how
all
fun.
the time. So it's
Different every day.
Different every day.
every
Well,
day.
see,
Yeah.
that's why
That's
you
why it's
enjoy your
fun.
job.
That's the best part of the
because it's
job.
so interesting. And the views.
Yes.
Please.
Yes.
Too bad you have no
Spectacular views.
view from up there. Huh?
Yeah.
Oh, that is just unbelievable. Wow, open 7 days a week. You can't miss that. So check out on May 14th, you can go to the 100th and 50th anniversary celebration. You can join in on the fun. There'll be food, there'll be entertainment, going to have your hands-on machinery going and all kinds of stuff like that. And that's going to be great. And that's on the 14th. If you don't make it to the 14th, we understand. It's okay. Go to the museum and the park anyway, 7 days a week, except for Christmas. So you have no excuse to miss it. You're going to love it. If you haven't been there, I love the rocks and the pictures too.
Yeah.
Pictures are a big thing.
And the stories.
And the stories. And the movie is great.
Oh, yeah.
And it's air conditioned inside,
It is.
which is wonderful.
And
because
heated
it's
in the
getting hotter.
winter.
And I know, I've been there in both times, so it's climate controlled.
Yes.
Which is great. And there's plenty of parking.
Oh, yeah.
So it's very easy to get to and handicapped accessible. So that's always an easy one. So if you've got guests in town and you need that option, you can get yourself there to the Douglas Mansion. But, go and celebrate. Actually, let's just celebrate anyway. Let's start celebrating right now.
There you go.
Congratulations.
Absolutely.
Congratulations to the Douglas Mansion. So much history involved in there. It would take us an hour just to cover all that. But check it out for yourself. You've got interactive displays. You've got pictures and movies and rocks and wonderful machinery. And it's always changing. I love that. Every time I go in, there's something new. And it's really fascinating.
Try to freshen it up, keep it new.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys are doing an amazing job. Will you both be there on the 14th?
Of
Oh, yeah.
course.
Of
Absolutely.
course. Wearing a party hat?
Probably. Or a hard hat.
Yes.
Hoping to be in a hard hat.
A hard
so we'll
hat.
see.
That would be good. At most parties, I want a hard hat.
Yeah.
Too, so I totally understand you. You can check out azstateparks.com/parks/JERO. That'll get you right to the wonderful page, the flyer that talks about the 150th anniversary celebration. And of course, if you want more information about the park itself, it's going to be all there on that. You can also give them a call at 928-634-5381. If you've got some questions you want to speak to a person about, that's very good. But otherwise, the park's open every day. Get yourself there. If you're there May 14th, awesome. Otherwise, come up anyway. The view is great and it's wonderful. Margie, thank you for being here.
Thanks
Wes,
for having
thank you
us.
for being here.
Appreciate it.
Congratulations and keep up the good work.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back, so don't go away.
Alvin and the Chipmunks want to remind you, bacteria can hide in food and make you ill.
Wow.
But you can keep bacteria from ruining your day with 4 simple steps. Clean,
I'm waiting for the rinse cycle.
separate, cook. cook, and chill.
We chipmunks are notoriously tight.
Check your steps. The road trip to food safety starts at foodsafety.gov.
I'm Jenny Garth, and as a mother of 3, I know kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. But here in America, that is a real worry for 1 in 5 children. Even though we are one of the most food-rich countries in the world, 15 million children don't know where their next meal is coming from. This is unacceptable, and something the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks is working to solve. Instead of accepting that our country lets billions of pounds of surplus food go to waste every year, Feeding America has made it their mission to help families in need by rescuing this food. Through food pantries and meal programs, the nationwide network of food banks provides more than 3 billion meals, serving virtually every community in the United States, including yours. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank by visiting feedingamerica.org. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
And welcome back to the Verde Valley Experience. We are now here at Fort Verde State Historic Park in Camp Verde, surrounded by all these wonderful people in beautiful costumes, and Sheila Stubler, who is the park manager here at Fort Verde State Historic Park. Thank you for meeting with us today, everyone.
You betcha.
This is so exciting. I love all these beautiful costumes. Tell us a little bit about this. I know that everyone here is volunteers, that the park is mainly run by volunteers.
Yeah, we have a few more staff. We finally got another full-time employee after 8 years. So we're very excited for that, and it's been about a year now. So revenue has gone up about 33%, and the workload continues to go up as we keep adding more things. So we're really glad to be open 7 days a week. Yeah.
That's really great. Now, to do all this stuff, you need volunteers.
Absolutely.
And there's so many different options for volunteering here at the fort. It's not just one thing or 5 things or even 20 things. It's more like 50 some odd things you could be doing. Tell us a little bit with the costumes, what's going on.
Sure. Well, to our right, we have Bud, and Bud is one of the vintage baseball players. And his big red E that you see on his uniform shirt here, it's the Fort Verde Excelsiors. So if you want to play baseball, no experience required, just the willingness to come out and don the historic uniform.
Very handsome.
Play ball and represent the Fort Verde Excelsiors.
Wow, that's really good to actually play baseball. That's
Absolutely.
just awesome.
Yeah.
And that's, of course, you need enough people to play. So that's
right.
Really
at least
important.
9.
That's very cool. And then what do we have going over here?
We got a private with a rifle. This
Yes.
is Civil War rifle, so
Nice.
I like to keep it on the floor because it's too heavy.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! That's wonderful. Now, what kind of events would you be dressed up like this all the time while you volunteered at the fort?
Well, we have different school groups that come through. So say a school books a presentation, we call our volunteers and we say, okay, we've got a group of 100 plus kids coming. We'd like to do a guided tour and have somebody to walk them through the buildings. So we do adobe brick making workshops, we do living history and guided tours, and that's where Mario and Jackie and Wade and all the folks that have been dressing in period clothing, they help out by taking the school groups through the buildings and giving them the private little presentations. We also do the 13 folds of the American flag with our local American Legion, and so that's another presentation for kids. So sometimes dressing in period clothing would be running the front desk and greeting customers when they come in, and so that's always a lot of fun because people arrive and they think they've stepped back in time, which is what we want them to do.
Right.
So,
yeah. And
so
it's working.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this is amazing. Now, per se, they're shy. They don't want to do the costume thing.
Right.
What else can they do?
Well, we match them with what they want to do. So literally when they come to the park and they say, I'm interested in volunteering, but I'm not sure what, we show them what categories are available. So we have a garden, and for those folks that have green thumbs, we have working the front desk. Some people like to be behind the scenes and doing some of the cleaning and dusting and things that a lot of people don't really enjoy. But we have volunteers that help out with that because they know it has to be done. We also have the Dutch Oven Company cooks, that people help out with that. Weapons demonstrations, the baseball. Maintenance projects, George Dvorak, you've met him before. Him and Bud actually works on that, and he's not playing baseball. They help out with maintenance projects like helping to keep up the white picket fence, the maintenance, irrigation, things like that, specialty projects that require specialty skills.
Well, sure.
So
And, yeah.
anybody that knows how to change an irrigation head, we want you.
There you go. If that's
Sprinklers
on
and
your
bubblers.
resume, then
Yeah.
there's always something to do. I mean, this covers how many acres?
It's
Park?
11 and a half acres.
There's a lot going on in 11 and a half acres, a lot of upkeep and a lot of events. Every year you guys have so many amazing
We
events
do.
happening.
Yeah.
And then of course you need more and more volunteers. There's a table with hats on it, and Sheila was so cute. She goes, "They're waiting to be filled."
And we have open vacancies.
We have vacancies in the costume department. Now speaking of costumes, do you have to supply your own costume? How does that
You don't
work?
have to. We have dresses and uniforms that people can check out, even if they're not necessarily volunteering right here at the fort. We've had folks that have come for Fort Verde Days and said, "I'd like to borrow a dress or a uniform," and so we sign it out, and then as long as it comes back clean, that's the only thing we ask. And so that's pretty much, we try to engage the community and get people to dress up and to get more of a feel for what life was like out here. So
Right, yes, it's
Yeah.
all about what life was like about here, such as the cooking demonstrations, which we'll get to, that's going to show that, of course. Now, speaking of skills that you might have, there might be folks with some particular historical interest in firearms. You have an interesting program with the firearms here, too.
we do, and this is Hank right here and his grandson Ty. And do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Well, you have to yell, because we won't be able to hear you.
Okay.
No, I don't have to yell? Okay, good. Basically, I bring, the children come in to see what's going on at the fort, and explain the firearms to them. The 63 Springfield, 73 Springfield, what the Army used at the time. Most of the time, the children are really interested. I try to throw in a little safety to keep them safe while they're not here as well. So, but we basically show them the firearms that we have here on the fort. And if you go in the back, there's where they also are on display. At this time, there's no live firing demonstrations. Later on, maybe.
Well, sure. Well, that's wonderful to have that opportunity if you've got expertise in that area or you're a history buff. This is the place to be. If you like to volunteer, this is definitely the place to be.
And our reenactments, we have weapons demonstrations all the time, including cannons and Gatling guns and things like that. So, so if you come for the bigger reenactments, that's where you'll see a lot of the weapons demonstrations of different periods.
Now, if they're interested in volunteering, should they give you a call, go to the website? What should they do?
All of the above.
All right.
They can call, stop by, they can talk to any one of our other volunteers. They just fill out a form, and we try to match them with what they want to do.
Awesome. Thank you, Sheila. Sheila Stubler is the park manager here at Fort Verde State Historic Park. Check out azstateparks.com, and you'll see the Find a Park section. Click on that, and that'll get you over here a list of what's going on and good stuff. So we'll be right back, so don't go away.
They told me a bottle couldn't dream. That I would never become a superhero. But I learned how to fly. Just to come back in a new disguise. And be the hero that I've always wanted to be.
They're coming. Places, everybody.
Light check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Everything looks good on our end.
And lights.
Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
This new dad is picturing a tree house in the sky, but he's ignoring the instructions. Good luck, big guy. His kids know that he's building without a clue. Never been so good with nails and glue. Now we're trapped inside a box. I hope mom knows what to do. Mom! See, you don't have to be perfect to be the perfect parent.
Thousands of siblings in foster care will take you just as you are.
There was a spark in the start It was always there, parking lots and supermarkets, broken glass. You were everywhere, I know. It's took a long, long time. But simple things can be defined, and these bigger things beyond design just grow. And they grow the way they want to. I can't tell you how unsettling that distance was, undignified, but I wasn't quite what you expected. You don't like to be surprised. Oh, my dear, I hate to tell you, but if these lonesome arms wrap around those lovely ankles don't compel you, I must presume none of this is true. I keep thinking you'd be the death of me if I could be a part of you. The only thing I've understood isn't anything, and there is no debate. There will be no tomorrow. There was no today. Just a thought, don't let it haunt you. The ocean creeping up along the shoreline will dissolve you. Though it might seem like a long, long time. That's when you're young and dumb and different, and that ignorance wouldn't push the tide back down. It'll take you when it wants you. I can't tell you how to set your sail or where to find the wind, but I will stand beside you, oceanside, when waves roll up to find you. We should dig for gold together till they do.
Wonderful. Pat Beary, everyone. Thank you. That was gorgeous.
Thank you very much.
I loved that. You have such a nice rhythm in your voice. It sounds like so many different people combined. It's so interesting to know who was your inspiration when you started doing music.
When I started playing music, it was all Ramones and Black Sabbath and really noisy stuff.
Yeah. It's not quite where you got your sound, I think.
No, I started writing and I started listening to a whole lot of Elvis Costello, Tom Waits, Lemonheads.
Yep, that's who I was picking up for sure. There's certain things that you do with your voice that Elvis would do. And I go, oh, okay, there we go, there's one. And sometimes it's a little James Taylor, and sometimes there's a little Dylan in there. It's really a lovely combination.
Oh, thank you.
It's really quite nice. Now, how did you come to pick up a guitar?
I had two older brothers who picked up a guitar, so I grew up. It was my turn to take a guitar class in high school.
Very good.
That's about it.
Very good. And you had a kind of an interesting beginning. Your arm was in a cast, is that correct?
Yeah, I had the summer before I started high school. I was 12 years old, I guess, and I just had a simple slip and fall off a bike, and I landed just wrong, and I broke every bone in my arm. So I learned to play hunched over, thusly. So, I've got a funny bump on the side of my arm because I've always grounded into the
Oh, how interesting.
For a few hours at a time.
Oh, fun. Well, that's really...
yeah. I play wrong, so
I
do what I can.
I know that whole thing about, I know. You play however you make your beautiful sound, and
I do what I can.
Yeah, absolutely. So you've been playing now for how long?
A very long time.
Oh, 50 years. No.
Well... I can say, 25, maybe.
Yep. Sure.
Coming up on 30 years someday soon.
Well, that's great that you kept it going all this time.
It's something I could never really avoid.
Yeah. artisans, you can't. It's in you. It has to come out. You can't put that guitar down. You have to pick it back up, and it's in there. And thank you for sharing it, because it's really amazing stuff.
Thank you.
What inspires you to write your music?
Well, the same old stuff. It's, travails, personal stories, literal travels and relationships and stuff.
Yeah.
When you stay by yourself and you spool your head over and over and over again, you build a story into something a little bit bigger than it needs to be, and
then it becomes
you
a song.
You force it out, you funnel it out through a guitar.
And it's wonderful.
Yeah.
Now, I know that you're a father. Has any of that experience being a father written any songs for you?
I haven't been doing a whole lot of writing. That's a tough thing to focus on.
Mm-hmm.
It's been said that it's really difficult to write a good, happy song. There's definitely a lot to be said about parenting and about fatherhood, and there's a lot that you want to give him, and I'm going to spend the next 20 years trying to get it right to him, and hopefully I'll have something to say about that point. But
right.
Yeah.
That'll make for some really beautiful work.
I would hope so.
I'm sure. That song you just played for us, what was that called?
That's called The Spark.
It was a great song.
Oh, thank you.
That was really, really nice. Personal experience?
Very much so, yeah. That was, I had recorded, an album's worth of material with, you could say, a specific target in mind. And that target and I ended up getting married sometime after that. So that's it's my wife, and that's basically looking back on the last 10 years and from the start to where we've gotten, and it's still the most important thing I've got to think about and write about. So it's still there,
and it's working for you because the music is absolutely gorgeous. Now, do you have any CDs out?
I probably should have brought one with me.
Oh, that's okay. It's not a requirement.
I do. I've got a couple of albums available online. I do have the first one. The physical copies are long since sold out, but working on a new one. But I do carry a case with me whenever I'm playing out. So yeah, what I just did and the next song I'll do are both from something that I'm hoping to get finished up this summer.
Very nice. Oh, that's exciting.
In the next couple of
Something new. Great. Now, if we want to grab some music that you've already got, where are you online? Are you CD Baby?
There is some really nice live stuff, more recent stuff on SoundCloud, P. Beary. Just as long as you spell my name right.
Sure.
I'm probably the only person you're going to find. It's Beary.
Correct.
But yeah, it's on iTunes. I think it's probably still on Amazon. There's, I think it's about 500 online retailers. It's all over the place.
Awesome. Easy to find. And on Facebook, too. You can check him out on Facebook.
Facebook, Pat Beary.
Yep, that's a really good one.
I try to keep up with posting my
amongst being a dad and and you said you were a woodworker, too.
Custom furniture and cabinetry.
Which is amazing.
Busy.
Artist, of course.
Managed to keep all my fingers so far.
Right, which is amazing as a woodworker. And my grandfather lost both thumbs, so I get it. Circular saw thing runs in the family.
I've met a lot of
for sure.
A lot of people missing parts that way, but I've been lucky. I've been careful.
I bet. Now you stay so busy. It's amazing when I looked on your Facebook page. I'm playing here, I'm playing there, I played here, I played there. It's just amazing. I noticed that there's a winery theme. It seems you play a lot of the wineries.
The music scene in Northern Arizona has gotten interesting. 10, 15 years ago. It was a coffee house thing, is where the sort of thing that I do would register really well. You'd fill a room, people would be lining the floors, and a lot of those places have just gone away, and the bars, a lot of the bars and sort of nightclub type venues have switched to dance bands or country, and I'm finding a lot of work and a lot of good feedback, good reception in the tasting rooms through the Verde Valley. So yeah.
Oh yeah, I bet. Now, do you have anything coming up? Any gigs that are set already?
I've been smart for once and taped it to the side of my guitar. I'll be the next today and tomorrow. I'm actually going to be in Prescott Valley at Cork and Cuisine.
Okay.
I'm in Prescott El Gato Azul on Thursday the 12th. Okay. I'm in Flagstaff at Altitudes Bar and Grill on Friday the 13th.
On May 13th.
I'm in Old Town Cottonwood at Fire Mountain Wines on the 14th. May 14th. Page Spring Cellars on the 20th, and then I'll be back in Jerome solo at the Spirit Room on the 26th.
Wow. Busy man.
Yeah.
Busy man. Well, check him out on Facebook. Facebook, And then it's Pat Beary. That's Beary. Very easy to find. Keep your list of where you're playing on there. That way we can find you.
I will try to do that.
What's the next song you're going to play called?
What is this called? What is it called? Wow.
Oh, we haven't even had a name for it yet.
Lover Look.
Wonderful.
There it is.
Wonderful. Well, thank you.
That's
And
another
thank you
new
so
one.
much for being here.
Thank you for having me. It's
Really
been fun.
appreciate it. Make sure you check out Pat on Facebook, Pat Beary on Facebook. And of course, you can check out the Verde Valley Experience on Facebook too. And also at verdevalleytv.com. Thank you so much for joining us. I'll see you next time on the Verde Valley Experience.
Added up, I would count myself a devotee, but I saw the lover look where it had to be. I kept hanging around up atop the hill, waiting to watch it fall back down. Too many times to count, too good to put back down. I found these pieces on the ground. Don't wait too long to come around. You may find yourself alone one day, and I'm nowhere to be found. You never find a better reason or a sweeter sound. Added up, I would count myself a devotee, but I saw that look. Up atop the hill, waiting to watch it fall back down. Too many times to count, too good to put back down. I found these pieces on the ground. But don't wait too long to come around. You may find yourself alone one day, and I'm nowhere to be found. Never find a better reason or a sweeter sound. Added up, I would count myself a devotee, but I saw that lover look, and it had to be